Have you ever tried to outsmart a surprise? Maybe you felt like you had the whole thing figured out and convinced yourself you knew exactly what was coming, only to be completely caught off guard anyway. Imagine a teacher standing in front of her class. She announces that she's going to give a test sometime next week, Monday through Friday. But she adds one condition. The test will be a total surprise. She promises the students that they won't know the day of the test until they walk into the room and see the papers on their desks. While a surprise sounds simple enough, it actually creates a logical loop that makes it impossible to predict, even if you think you found a way to beat it. This pattern shows up in all sorts of places. Think of a fire chief telling an office building that a surprise fire drill will happen sometime next week, completely unannounced. Or imagine a friend lining up 10 closed boxes. They hide an egg in one of them and guarantee that finding the egg as you open the boxes one by one will be a total surprise. In all three of these stories, people try to use step-by-step logic to prove that the promised surprise is actually impossible. Whenever you lay out perfectly clear rules, people naturally try to outsmart them. In this case, the more they try to find a way out, the more tangled the logic ultimately becomes. Let's see how the students try to solve this. They pull out a standard Monday to Friday school calendar and attempt to figure out which day the teacher has chosen. Their first step is to look at the end of the week. They realize the test cannot be on Friday. If Thursday ends without a test, it has to happen Friday. Since an expected test isn't a surprise, they cross Friday off. With Friday gone, Thursday is eliminated too. Working backwards, they cross out Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. By strictly following the teacher's own rules, the students conclude that their logic has proven the test can't happen at all. This exact same logic applies to the fire drill. People rule out Friday, then Thursday, back to Monday. It's the same with the boxes. You rule out box 10, then 9, down to 1. All the boxes must be empty. Then reality hits. The teacher walks into class on Wednesday morning and hands out the test. The students are genuinely surprised. The fire alarm rings on a Tuesday afternoon, and when you open box 5, the egg is sitting right there. Both are total surprises. Even though their logic seemed to work perfectly at every step, it led them to an answer that turned out to be completely wrong. When correct thinking leads you directly to an answer that contradicts the real world, you found a paradox. This specific puzzle is so baffling that professional logicians and philosophers have been writing papers about it for decades. This is the title page of a 1960 paper called A Paradox Regained, where researchers tried to find a solution. This image shows the formulas those academics used to try and find the flaw. They assigned variables like M, T, and W to represent Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, to track exactly what the prisoner knows at any given moment. But despite all the intimidating math, the actual solution doesn't require complex formulas. It's a simple trick of human psychology. The mistake happened right at the start. The students took the teacher's word that it would be a surprise and treated it like a rigid mathematical rule that could never be broken. By crossing out every day on the calendar, the students convinced themselves the test was impossible. Because they were sure it couldn't happen, they stopped expecting it. And that's the loop. Because they stopped expecting the test, any day the teacher chose would automatically become a surprise. Logic is a powerful tool, but it has limits. When you use it to try and predict a surprise, overthinking the rules is exactly what builds the trap you fall into.